Imagine a predator, unseen, unheard, but with the potential to wreak havoc on a global scale. This isn't a creature from a sci-fi movie, but the first ever computer worm to gain significant media attention. In the vast digital wilderness, a new kind of beast was born, a computer worm, a self-replicating program designed to spread across networks, exploiting vulnerabilities and causing widespread disruption. This is not a tale of fiction, but a chapter from our own cyber history, a story of how a simple miscalculation turned a benign intention into a digital catastrophe. In the annals of cyber history, this digital predator goes by the name of the Morris worm. So who or what gave birth to this beast? Let's take a step back to 1988, to a graduate student at Cornell University named Robert Tappan Morris. This young, ambitious mind is the creator of what we now know as the notorious Morris worm. Morris had a noble intention: to expose the vulnerabilities in network security. He wanted the world to see the glaring flaws in the system, to provoke action and reform. To achieve this, he crafted a worm, an insidious piece of code designed to exploit weak points in network security. The worm was launched not from Cornell, but from the prestigious Massachusetts Institute of Technology network, an unexpected launch pad for such a digital predator. Morris hoped his worm would silently infiltrate systems, revealing chinks in the armor without causing harm, but as we'll see, intentions and outcomes often diverge. Morris's worm was more potent than he anticipated. Little did he know, his creation would spiral out of control, transforming from an intended security lesson into a cyber nightmare. What happened when the Morris worm was set loose on the digital landscape? It was like a wildfire in a parched forest, spreading rapidly and consuming everything in its path. The Morris worm, this cunningly crafted piece of code, capitalized on the vulnerabilities in weak passwords and zeroed in on specific machines. It specifically targeted DECVAX machines running 4BSD and Sun 3 systems. A predator, you could say, with a very particular taste. The worm didn't just infect systems, it caused them to crash. It was an insatiable digital glutton, gobbling up system resources until there was nothing left, and the host collapsed under its weight. The number of computers infected? Thousands. A number that might seem small by today's standards, but remember, we're talking about the late 80s here, when the internet was still a fledgling and a digital predator of this magnitude was unheard of. Now let's talk about the cost implications. Removing this digital parasite wasn't a simple task. It was like trying to extract a thorn that's dug deep into the skin. For each infected system, the cost of removing the virus was estimated to be between $200,000 and $53,000. That's right, 53 grand for a single installation. Multiply that by the thousands of infected systems and you're looking at a staggering financial burden. And the cost wasn't just financial. The Morris worm shook the internet's reliability to its core and shattered the perception of security. It was a wake-up call, a stark reminder that while the digital landscape offered untold possibilities, it also harbored unseen dangers. The Morris worm had become a digital epidemic, causing chaos and costing millions. Every storm, no matter how destructive, eventually passes. But what was left in the wake of the Morris worm? In the aftermath of the digital tempest, Robert Tappan Morris, the creator of the worm, found himself in the eye of a legal hurricane. He was convicted under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, marking the first felony conviction of its kind. To Morris, the worm was meant to be a spotlight, illuminating the weaknesses in network security. But the law saw it differently, as a destructive force that wreaked havoc on thousands of systems. The fallout from the Morris worm didn't stop with Morris's conviction. It led to the establishment of two important entities in the realm of cybersecurity. The first was the CERT Coordination Center at Carnegie Mellon University. This organization was created to address network emergencies and coordinate responses to them. The other was the phage mailing list, a dedicated channel for discussing and addressing issues related to computer viruses. Beyond these tangible outcomes, the Morris worm left a lasting impact on the perception of internet security. It served as a wake-up call, a stern reminder of the fragility of our digital infrastructure. The worm forced us to confront the reality that our systems were not as secure as we'd like to believe, and that there were individuals capable of exploiting these vulnerabilities. The Morris worm not only changed the face of cybersecurity, but also left an indelible mark on the internet's history.